Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow from SG TCG, bringing you guys a Starter 14 Luffy game from about 2 weeks ago. This is a new store that opened up in, I guess, the suburbs of Chicago. It's a Summit called Game Night. Cool little chill spot. So, went to the first local, ended up facing this in the last round. This is actually a very interesting game. Against one of my buddies, Carrasco, or his YouTube name is Anarchy, I believe. I'll tag it in the description below. But he opened up, he got second, won the dice roll, opened up with two Spandums. Each of the Spandom searches had a Lucci in it, so he's able to choose from all 6 cards, which is probably the that's the best situation for a Spandom search. Pass turn to me, I had nothing else. I just swung for 8, as you saw. He takes the life. And I pass back to him. He swings 5. I take it, trying to give myself more options at this point. And then he's gonna tap and play out a Lucci. So I believe now that is all 4 Luccis out of the deck. He has 3 in the trash, and he's got the 1 on the field. So I don't gotta worry. So now he doesn't have to worry about finding a Lucci, which is sometimes a problem I was having. But I'm gonna attach it on the leader, and I'm gonna tap 4, play out a Kuzan, draw a card, kind of give myself more options. But also, if this Kuzan sticks, it's gonna be able to reduce anything on my opponent's side of the field and help me with being able to pop it with either the 3-cost Brook or the Sanji if I have it in hand. But yeah, with the Dawn on the leader, it buffs the Kuzan up to a 5. So kind of makes it a little bit more trickier. He can't just Suru it, or he's going to have to play more cards to get it reduced down to where it needs to be at to pop. So it's his 6th Dawn turn. Still can't pretty much pop anything. He could Brook, 6-cost Brook, but the Kuzan would be out of range, so it's not worth it. So he swings 5 with leader. I counter out with a brand new. He does leader ability to reduce the Kuzan back down to 4. Does a Tempest kick to draw a card, and he's at exactly 10 cards with the Tempest, so he's able to reduce the Kuzan down to 1. And then he plays out a Who's Who from hand, trashing a card from his own hand to pop a 3-cost or less. So he's able to reduce and get rid of that Kuzan. I swing 6 to Lucci, I take it. I do have a lot of options in hand, but I wanted to find something to be able to remove this board at the moment. And I believe out of life, I was able to get a Sanji, which was a good thing that I took the life instead of countering out. So you're going to see I'm going to attach it down, swing 7 at the Lucci. Hopefully that he didn't have a 2K. He lets it go. I'm going to tap 5, play out the Sanji, and pop the Who's Who. So I'm able to get rid of his board that is able to swing at me with no issues. So the Sanji is an on play. If I have a 6-cost character, I get to pop one of my opponent's 5-cost. But with the Dawn on the leader, buffs the Sanji to 6, so it considers itself a 6-cost. Which is why I always attach the Dawn first to the leader. Honestly, a very fun deck to play, Starter 14. I'm considering on using it at store regionals at Sully's Abode this Wednesday. Still playtesting. Stuck between the Starter 14 and the BY Luffy, so still haven't made a decision. But more than likely, I'm leaning towards the Starter 14. So as you saw, my opponent just Ice Aged the Sanji to get him down to 1 cost, and then plays out the Jack and does Jack's ability to get it down. I believe here my opponent is at 3 cards. No, he's at 4 cards, so you're going to see I end up doing a funny play. I think it's the next turn, but this turn I end up top decking, I think, a Moria, so I attach it down to my leader, play out the Moria. Moria, I'm going to target the Kuzan and the brand new. I should have sequenced these different. I should have sequenced brand new first, because the top deck was a Navy card, so the Kuzan would have at least drawn me into one of those Sanjis, which would have been so beneficial for me. But I think the Kuzan drew me into a Suru, I believe. So the brand new search would have found that, and then Kuzan would have drawn me into that last Sanji. So it's also a gamble which one you want to decide to trigger out first, whether it's the Kuzan or brand new. just a roll of the dice. So I swing for 7 since the gecko is on the field. So my leader has a buff. So currently my leader is a 6k leader on his turn, which also is now throwing him for a loop because he can't get rid of the Moria with just an Ice Age. He's gonna have the leader swing, play out an Ice Age just to get it in range for Jack, since it'll be a 3 cost at that point. Just an Ice Age right now puts it at a 4. But my opponent's trying to find the best way to be able to reduce and get rid of both the Kuzan and the Gecko, because if the Kuzan sticks, it's just gonna run rampant and be able to remove a decent amount of cards, because a Kuzan swing and an Ice Age could put the Jack in range for some deadly popping. Does leader ability when he swung at brand new to get the Gecko down to an 8. With the Ice Age brings it down to a 3. Does Jack's ability, gets into a Suru. He's contemplating on what to trash because he liked everything that he had in the hand, and he opted to get rid of the Sabo. He did this just because he had other things in the hand that can pop my board. So you're gonna see here he's gonna play out a Helmeppo to get the Kuzan down to a 2 cost, and then play out a Kaku to pop it, which is why he ended up getting rid of the Sabo instead of keeping it for the immunity. So he had to put 2 cards back for the on play from the Kaku, and he attaches 2 Don, 1 to each Spandam. So he said there is no wasted Don, which is valid, respectable. So at this point, I'm contemplating on what to do. Now he only has 3 cards in hand. One of those, as you saw, is a Stussy from what we can see in the top view. So the other 2, at this point, I don't know what they are, but all I know is I want to get cards out of his hand. I'm contemplating on just swinging big at the Jack right here. I did hint him, what if I swing 10 at the Jack, and he's just joking about it, and he didn't think I was seriously going to do it. But prior to swinging at the Jack, I will play out a Sabo, and I do this to be able to filter out the hand and potentially find something else that can pop, because I did mill 2 of the Sanjis from the brand new search, which would have been so beneficial to have. So yeah, I do start with the Sabo. I'm going to draw 2. I'm going to trash 2 here. You're going to see me trash a Kuzan. I don't need it at this point for it to be played out. I do get a draw from it, but it's not sticking. So, and I trash a Nico for, it's just a 1k. I had multiple 2ks in the hand, and I'm going to swing 10 at the Jack. And here's where my opponent couldn't believe I actually legitimately did it. So now he's contemplating on countering out and saving this Jack. It was going to take 2 cards to save it. 2 2Ks or 2 and a 1K. So very difficult decision, because the Jack can be very beneficial for my opponent. So he gives me 2 2Ks to save the Jack. Now he's down to 2 cards in hand. Again, you see all he has left is a Stussy. If I wanted to fully get rid of the Jack, I would have needed to swing for 13. Not 13. Yeah, 13, because if he gave me 2 2Ks, he could have got out of a 11. So, no, at least a minimum of 12. But again, you don't know what your opponent has. So it's kind of a tricky decision to make. And there's already a lot of Don invested just into that swing. And I'd rather play out the Sabo, have a blocker that he won't be able to KO unless he plays something to trash it. So here he's trying to figure out what to do. The Stussy can't pop the Sabo because, again, it just can't since it's immune. So here he's going to figure out, he figures it's better to swing wide with everything to get cards out of hand, because I believe I had 8 cards in hand going into the turn. So he's swinging for 5 across the board. Does his leader ability to mill 2, basically to fill the trash to find stuff for a potential Moria play. So he swings 6 with the Spandam. I give him a 2k. Swings 6 with another Spandam. Give him another 2k. And he swings 6 with the Kaku. I believe I give him another 2k. I didn't want to take hits just yet. I wanted to keep myself still healthy. Just because I don't know exactly what can happen. You can always remove my board, and then I don't know what's going to go on. So he refused to swing at the jack because he figured I would swing at it again, which was a good choice. Because I definitely would have done it. So he's only got 2 cards in hand at the moment. I play out a brand new first. I play out the brand new first. You're going to see me do this because I wanted to find a Rebecca to put into the trash. And I don't hit a Rebecca on the brand new search. I do get a Tashigi, which is at least a 2k. The Gecko will play out a Kuzan again. And I'm going to play out the other brand new that he knocked on the turn prior. I do brand new first because I learned my lesson from the first one. And I'm going to do the T-Bone, and then Kuzan draws me another card. So I'm at least able to plus 2 cards from that turn. And then I swing at the Spandam only, since that is the only thing that could potentially be in range. That's the only thing in range for my leader, since I don't have the buff. I swing 6 with the Sabo to the Kaku, only because there's a chance that he could pop the Sabo this upcoming turn. So he calls out a top deck of the century at this point, and I figured it's just a Gecko Moria at this point. That is the most best play that a Lucci can have. Moria and play out 5 different bodies, or 4 different bodies from that card alone. He's contemplating what to do. He knows I have 2 2Ks. And he does have to answer this board, because at this point, I can put a lot of pressure on him on the next turn. But does not have a lot of options. So only 2 cards in hand, one of them being a Stussy. And the other, we're guessing, is a Moria. So he swings the Helmeppo at the brand new. I let it go, not worth saving. And he's contemplating on whether he should swing 6 at the Sabo or 6 at the lead. So he swings 6 at Sabo. I give him a 1k. He reduces the Kuzan down to 3. And I informed my opponent that the field doesn't have a 1-cost buff, because he was under the assumption they did at the moment. So he was thinking so much harder, thinking that they had extra cost, and trying to figure out how to do it. So he swings 7 at the Kaku. And now this makes his turn a little bit easier. Gonna tap 8, play out the Moria. Moria will play out the Rebecca. And I believe he only has a Suru in the trash, so he has to play out the Suru because the Helmeppo's on the field, since I didn't swing a Helmeppo the last turn. So Rebecca will grab Spandine. But prior to that, again, the Suru is going to hit the field first. Suru will reduce the Kuzan down to 1. And the only things he'll be able to pop are the brand new and the Kuzan with this Spandine Lucci play. So here we go. So that's the third body off Moria. Now Spandine kicks in, puts 3 CP cards, and he will be playing out a Lucci to KO the Kuzan and the brand new. Here, me and my opponent were talking about how Jack is grabbable off the Rebecca, which is kind of crazy. you accidentally mill jack off Lucci ability or like a brand new search, you'll play Rebecca, get it in your hand, and already have it set and ready for the next turn to play out when he's able to. And in here, my opponent swings 8 at the Sabo. I give him 2K counters, and the sole reason for that was because I want the Sabo to be able to swing. Not the best play, to be honest, but I want to have enough cards to be able to remove pretty much everything on my opponent's turn right now. So I swing 10 at the Jack. He gives me the Rebecca. And my Lucci, or not my Lucci, but my Luffy is a 6K, so I'm going to be able to swing for 7. And in here, I'm trying to figure out how to remove the board more effectively as I am able to. I'm going to tap it on, play Ice Age on the Kaku, tap 3, and Brook to KO the Kaku. Which is hilarious, but I couldn't remove the Moria this turn, so I opted to do it this way, and I'm going to swing 10 at Jack to get rid of Jack. And I'm going to attach a Don and swing 7 at the Lucci with the Sabo. Pretty much going for an almost entire board clear here. And I pass turn, no cards in hand at this point, so he can pretty much knock anything that he wants this turn. So he's going to go 6 on leader to go 6 at the Sabo. Sabo's going to go. Mills is going to do Gecko to Gecko. Gecko's going to go. And probably by far the best play of the game is going to be this turn. My opponent plays a Stussy to pop his Gecko to KO my Brook. Which was the best moment of the game. And I top deck a more right after. So it's just a back and forth fucking fun game. Crazy ass stuff that we would probably never ever do. But it's a way to... Only way he had to clear my board was to be able to Stussy his Gecko to get rid of the Brook. Because he didn't want that pressure being put on him. So the Morio would pull the Rebecca and then the brand new. Brand new hits a T-Bone. And with the Rebecca, I'm considering on grabbing a 2K. But I opt, instead of grabbing the 2K, to grab a Sabo. And that's because I'm thinking of the next turn to potentially just block her up with immunity, so that he can't KO it on the turn after. So I swing 8 at him. He takes it. He had no cards in hand. Oh, he had 1 card in hand. And no, yeah, he had 1 card in hand. No, he had no cards in hand. So he took the life and he draws. So now he's at 2. And now he's trying to figure out exactly what to do. I do have a full board. Not a full board, but three bodies to his 1. If he doesn't get rid of the Moria this turn, I could just swing out at him, even with the Rebecca. Because my leader does get that extra 1K buff since the Moria is on the field. So he's letting me know that the play he's about to do is going to really irritate him, and it's because you see in his hand he only has the Ice Age, Helmepple, and Spandine, and you're gonna see how expensive it is with this Luffy leader to get rid of stuff for Lucci. Not only that, but that's pretty much all he has to be able to do. So he swings 6 at leader, does the leader ability to reduce the brand new down to a 2 cost. And here I'm debating on giving him... I do give him the Rebecca. I honestly should have just I should have just took the leader hit. I do give him the Rebecca because I thought he was going to KO the Rebecca this turn. But he opted to just go this route to be able to pop him anyway with the Lucci. So the Ice Age Helmeppo to get the Gecko down to 1. Just crazy. And then he Spandines from hand and grabs Lucci from the trash to KO. So complete board wipe. It's just stupidest plays ever. So I cleared his board, he cleared mine. The only thing that was standing is a Stussy. Here he's contemplating on swinging with the Stussy, but he doesn't want to because he knows I will remove his biggest body that he plays out. So here I'm contemplating on what to do. I do have the Sabo, which, you know, will give me a blocker and can cycle out of the hand. But I opt to just play out a Kaido. And the Kaido will... It feels bad to play out the Kaido right now because he has no cards in hand. If he had one card, it would have felt so much better to do. But we just can't go that route. So I do tap 9 to play out the Kaido. I'm going to also attach it down to leader because then he's going to get the buff from the Kaido being on the field. You can tell this is a very stressful game at this point with everything that we had to do. So I swing 7 at the Lucci to get rid of the Lucci. And he obviously gets rid of it. No cards in hand. And then I'm going to do Kaido to get rid of the either Spandine or the Helmeppo. And it's a feel bad moment that I have to use it on one of these guys. But I do it so that he doesn't have a wide board to be able to swing at me. And I give up the T-Bone 2K because, again, I'm holding on to the Sabo so that I could be able to cycle out of the hand and have a blocker to give me another turn. So here he's trying to figure out what to do. We're just playing top deck at this point. You're going to see him attach 3 Don. And then remember that my leader is a 6K, so he needs to attach another Don, which throws his turn off because of what he wanted to do. And he's debating if it's even worth swinging with the Span 9. But again, we don't have that many plays, so I do take this hit just because I feel like I need a different option in the hand. And again, I don't want to chuck the Sabo. That's really the main thing, is because I do not want to use the Sabo as counter. I want to play it out this upcoming turn. And he plays a Brook, and he opts to choose to trash a 4 cost. And he does this so that I don't put cards back into my deck. So if we go the long game, I could potentially mill out, which is a smart decision and a good good choice. I would have never thought of that. But yeah, at this point, we're considering on milling each other out because look how much of the deck I have left. So I do tap 5. I play out the Sabo. I'm gonna draw 2 and trash 2. And I'm gonna trash the Kaido. Don't need it, can't play it. And I'm gonna trash, looks like Brook. Yep, I trashed the Brook. Don't need them. I ended up finding another Sabo off the Sabo search, which was perfect. So I end up just swinging at life. I'm not afraid of the Spandine going wide this upcoming turn because I'm going to play out the Sabo. And now I have 2 blockers on the field, 2 life. He's got 4 potential swings. I check the Moria and a Rebecca. Don't need them because the next turn I plan on going for game. And I swing 9 with the Kaido. Debating on going for the Spandine because, again, potentially go wide. But there's no black card that is rush other than the Lucci, but no one's really playing that card. So at this point, my opponent has to figure out how to win the game at this point with the 4 swings that he has. My leader is only a 5K, so it doesn't have the buff. Spandine can just swing with 3 Don attached. He does Tempest Kick to be able to find a card. And I only have 1 card in hand. If he doesn't connect with the Spandine and everything else, it's pretty much game. Spandine needs to connect, so he's going to have to attach 3 Don and then leave the rest for the rest of his board. So he just declares a -3 on the Sabo. So he ends up playing a 6-cost Brook, trashing one of the Sabos that I have on the field to try to give him an extra space to get in. And attaches 5 to span 9. I counter out with the 1k, and he realizes that it's game. He can't get through for the rest of it and concedes. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you guys thought of this interesting game. And like the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.